Creative Marketing TV, and today we're going to talk about YouTube, and we're starting right now.
Good morning. This is Creative Marketing TV with Susan Joy Schlief, and I'm so excited to have my guest today, Nick Nimmin, who gave us his famous video intro there. Nick,
Thanks,
welcome,
Susan.
First of all. Now that
Thank
we
you
can
very
hear
much.
you, you're welcome. So I want to know, how did you come up with that great intro that you use on all your videos?
Really, there wasn't any science behind it. I was just, sitting down, writing scripts and trying to come up with, what I was going to talk about in the videos and whatnot. And I just wanted something that I could use, over and over again so people would be familiar with it when they heard it. I do the same exact thing on the new channel that I'm working on too. I have like a scripted intro that I use every single time.
Mm-hmm. That's great. I know
Yeah,
when
just something to relate to, kind of like a vocal jingle, sort of.
Yeah, yeah, like the start of a TV show, where it's the same little thing. Yours is mercifully much shorter than TV shows usually are. But,
yeah.
But I know I really enjoyed that when I first started looking at your videos. Nick, why don't you give us a brief version of your background and your story and how you got to where you are?
Well, brief version of my background. Well, I will start with, I work in graphic design. I started in graphic design 8 years ago, a little over 8 years ago now. And I enjoyed it. Before that, I sold real estate. I had a cleaning company. I did door-to-door marketing for 10 years before that. Yeah. And once I found graphic design so that I could work online, it actually came about as a necessity because my brother brought me to Thailand to visit him. And while I was here, I fell in love with the place. And we started talking about ideas of things that I could do online so that I could, move over here and be able to earn a living while I was here. And I went the graphic design route. And from there, I just did that forever until I started making videos for YouTube and experimenting with videos and photography and, stuff like that, which is where I found my passion lies more than graphic design.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I know you were telling me you still do the graphic design, but you're trying to transition more to just doing video. So
absolutely, it's my bread and butter. I have a handful of core clients that I work with. Almost all of them I've had the entire time. I kind of lucked into them, really. I'd like to tell a story about, I worked so hard and did all this stuff to, get my clients together and all that. But it was more of like a word of mouth thing that kind of spread around to a nice handful of core clients that has been able to sustain me really for the whole time and even to right now to this day.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
And I know part of why we got you signed up here to be on the show was because you have a brand new YouTube channel getting ready to launch. So tell us about that.
It's launching this coming Wednesday. Basically, the idea behind the channel is it's made for other curious people because, we're all curious about the world that we live in. And the channel basically answers questions that we all have. Everything from serious questions like what is love, all the way to the other end of the spectrum, like, why do dogs eat poop, for example? And, I have some Star Wars stuff that I've already recorded and things like that. So it's like a educational channel, but with like a fun, kind of like a more relaxed twist. Not as serious as like SciShow or something like that. It's more, a little more personal, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know the few samples that I've seen looked fun, and I've enjoyed seeing your photos too of the things that you're preparing the videos for, like the Star Wars character and the elephant.
Yeah, that part of it is fun. Unfortunately, at this point, I can't make every single video, something like that. But that's kind of what I, inspire to do is make every video in an awesome location or with an awesome, environment or, whatever. But yeah, like the elephant was cool. I just came back from China where I did a video at the Great Wall of China. And I went to Shenzhen and did a bunch of facts about China there. I've been to Japan making videos. Of course, I've made some here in Thailand, riding elephants, stuff like that.
And you were in the States recently too, right? Didn't I see some
Yes.
about that? So
Yeah,
thought,
I did one of the first 3 videos going live actually on Wednesday is how big is the Grand Canyon, to where basically I take the length and depth and everything with the Grand Canyon, and I talk about things that would fit inside of the Grand Canyon, or if you were to drive from one side of the Grand Canyon to the other, how far in other places in the world could you get in that length, and stuff like that, to kind of make it a little bit more interesting instead of just giving the data to to put it into real life perspective.
Right. Which is really the way things like that should be taught, because otherwise those big numbers don't mean anything to most of us.
Right.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to like filling the Grand Canyon with milk, for example.
So, okay, now you got my curiosity. How much milk does it take to fill the Grand Canyon?
As those words was coming out, I was hoping that you wouldn't ask me that. Gosh, what is it? It's like a quintillion. It's a lot.
A lot.
You can see on Wednesday. Yeah, you can see on Wednesday.
I'll watch for it on Wednesday. Yeah, definitely. So who is the audience for this? Who's your target audience that you have in mind that will like these videos?
Really anybody that's curious, which is everybody, really. Just people that want to know more about the world that we live in, and that want to, kind of get into the details of the world that's around us, without being overwhelmed with, stuff that a lot of people don't know about. You know what I mean? Like I try to express, I'm not a genius or anything. So I try to express everything in a way that I would want somebody to tell me something. I just try to make everything as baseline as possible so that it's easy for everybody that watches it to understand, including myself when I'm researching the videos.
Right.
Because if I don't understand it, then I can't make a video about it, because 1, that'll come through in the video, and 2, I'll just sound like an idiot when I'm making the video.
And we don't want that.
Absolutely not.
And how did you come up with the idea for this new channel?
I was actually going through ideas on what type of channel to make, because with the original channel that I have, my Nick Nimmin channel, where I give YouTube tips and advice on how to make videos look better and stuff like that, and how to make videos more engaging, that sort of thing. When I was making that channel, I had a friend of mine contact me and recommend that that I look into doing another type of channel as well, something that would reach a broader audience. So after I got that recommendation, I started, trying to come up with different ideas and things that I could do that would reach a wider audience, but something that I could still connect with myself. You know what I mean? And with that, because I'm a curious person, I try to, if I try to learn about something, I try to really dig into it and figure out the details. And I'm not one that really takes, like if somebody tells me something, I'm not one that usually takes it as at face value. I'll usually look into it and try to get, actual data behind, what somebody's telling me. And because of that, I figured that there's probably other people that want to know that kind of stuff. And so I decided that I would put the two together. So make something that I enjoy while I'm researching stuff anyway, and make it shareable in a way that other people can enjoy too.
Yeah, well, they certainly are fun, the ones I've seen so far.
Good.
And your other channel, and your Nick Nimmin channel is fun too. I enjoy that.
Thank you.
As learning something from it.
I think. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, I think the ones that you've seen so far might be the ones that are on Facebook. I'm making different types of videos for social media than I am for YouTube. Like YouTube is like the YouTube versions are longer videos, and by longer I don't mean they're an hour long. They're like 3 to 5 minutes. I think I have one video that's 6 minutes. But the videos for social media are just to supplement the time in between the videos for the other channel. Because I'm doing 2 videos a week on the other channel. So I'm making the shorter videos to put on social media so that I can pump out more videos on social media in between those 2 days.
What And to keep the engagement going and get people interested in going and watch it on YouTube. Right.
Absolutely.
Makes sense. What was I? Oh, I know what I was going to ask you. I know you have a video on your Nick Nimmin channel giving people a whole bunch of ideas that they could use to start a new YouTube channel?
Yeah, that's the best video that I have actually
You think so?
for the number. Well,
oh, for the number of viewers.
Yeah, for the people that have actually watched it. It's not my personal favorite, but it's the one that the most people have seen and the most people have engaged with, which tells me that for that channel I need to make more videos like that.
Yeah. Do you know what it is that was so appealing about that? Was it the fact that it's a list, or it's a topic they liked? Or?
I don't know for sure, but if I could guess, I would say that the people that are clicking on that video want to know, they're searching for ideas on things that they can do. And because I rattle off ideas on there pretty fast, it kind of gives people a lot of ideas in a really short amount of time. And I think that because people are looking for ideas, you see on the internet all over the place, if you're on any of the YouTube forums or on Reddit or anywhere, people are always looking for ideas for videos and for channels. Right. So I think that it's just something that people are interested in, and it just worked out.
Yeah, I think you're right about that because I know I hear people who are not really doing much with video yet, and they keep being told by all kinds of coaches and gurus that they really should be using video for their business, but they're like, what do I talk about? What do I make videos about? And they don't have a channel yet. So how do they set up a channel? So So you don't need to repeat what's on your video, obviously, but what kind of tips can you give people for deciding on how to set up their channel, what to focus on?
The number one thing, well, there's three different directions or three different types of people that I would guess anyway. Like, you have like your gamers, you have your people that do it for actually more than that, I guess. You have your gamers, you have your vloggers, you have your people that do, information channels like DIY channels and education channels, things like that. And then you have the people that do it for business. So if somebody's doing it for business, then I would definitely recommend that you do things that are around your business. But it doesn't have to be like, let's say, for example, you sell phones, right? Like every single video, you wouldn't have to talk about, well, this is the phone that I sell. You can talk about phones, you can talk about cases, you can talk about different apps that go in the phones, you can talk about anything that has to do with phones, but you always try to direct people to your website or whatever it is to where you're actually selling the actual phone that you have the channel for in the first place. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't always have to be exactly about whatever it is that you're selling. It can be anything related to anything close to the business that you're in.
Right. But do you recommend that people should always have a call to action at the end that sends somebody back to their website, or
absolutely
getting subscribers or getting shares and things like that?
Yeah, with anything online, with anything in general, like I said before, I did door-to-door marketing for 10 years, and I can feel the tomatoes on my face right now for saying that. But, because of that, one thing that taught me is that nobody is going to take the action that you want them to take unless you ask them to. Like you can't assume that the person watching your video knows, or visiting your website or whatever it is that you're presenting to someone. You can't assume that they want to, or that they know the next thing that you want them to do. You can't assume that, while they're still listening to you, but they're looking at the sidebar, maybe they don't even know that you have other videos. Maybe they didn't think to click on your channel link while they're looking at the other videos. So you got to tell them, check out my channel, or subscribe to my channel, or watch another video, or visit my website. You have to tell people what you want them to do, because without that direction, we don't always know what somebody wants us to do when we're watching a video or visiting a website,
Right. So do you mix up those different calls to action then, or it depends on the type of the video or what you're focusing on right then?
I usually have a core group of calls to actions that I use. I'll always tell people to subscribe to the videos. I'll always tell people to click the link down in the description that goes to my VIP area, to where they can get free graphics and guides and stuff like that. And I always tell them to share it if they can, because, we all need help trying to get eyeballs on our videos,
right?
So asking for that share, I think, is extremely important. you know. But yeah, you know, I have like my little package that I always say in my videos.
So you do all of those in the same video? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
interesting. Because I know a lot of people say
Yeah.
you should just have one call to action.
They focus. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Totally. I agree with that also. But for the, like I say the subscriber one for the people that aren't subscribed. I say the share it for people that are already subscribed.
Mhm.
And then I say the link for anybody that just wants free stuff.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So, you know, so I still throw it all in there, but I think that it might be better one way or the other. And to be honest, I haven't experimented with just using one. But you know, it might be something worth looking into. And I might actually do that in my next video.
Yeah, I don't know what's better either, but I just know that's what I'm used to hearing.
Testing
Yeah.
is always the best.
Right, that's true.
But
That's
but
true.
yeah, you know, like maybe the next video that I put up on the Nick Nimmin channel, I'll just put one thing and then I'll let you know how it goes if I end up doing that.
Okay. So you're talking about sending people to your website to get free things. What other ways do you engage with your audience to get them to really be more committed to watching your videos and really interacting with you and sharing them?
To start, if anybody reaches out to me in any capacity, I will, you know, I'll comment back. I'll, you know, somebody, you know, sends a tweet at me or something, I'll always reply, you know, things like that.
Mhm.
I let people know that I have new videos when I post them on, you know, through my email list. You know, I have a handful of certain social media groups that I'll post into anytime I have a new video to let people know. But yeah, that's about it, I would say.
Yeah, so a lot of social interaction, really.
Oh yeah,
Not just on
Yeah.
YouTube, but all the platforms. Yeah.
yeah,
Or
yeah.
all the ones
YouTube is
you're on, right?
yeah, yeah. YouTube is more of a you've already seen my video, let's talk,
Mhm.
and then everywhere else is like a hey, come and look at my video. You know, unless I'm already interacting with people on those channels. But
Mhm.
for the most part, the other places are saying, hey, come check out my video, where YouTube is saying, hey, you're already here. Let's have a conversation, you know?
Yeah, that makes sense. I know you have, like you said, some free things for people. You want to tell people what they can find there and how to get registered for that?
Yeah, if you go to nicknimmin.com/VIP, you can get free graphics inside. You can get, I made some motion graphics that you can use in your YouTube videos. If you make YouTube videos, you know, some animated subscribe buttons, things like that. I have some, just a few royalty-free music clips in there, which I'm going to be adding more. Some how-to guides, you know, like how to structure a video and how to find the perfect name for, you know, the project that you're working on, you know, different tools to use, stuff like that.
Great. I know I signed up recently, but I haven't gotten over there to download anything yet, so I'll have to do that. And we'll mention that URL again at the end of the Hangout. So, plus I'll have Nick, after we're done here, go over to my Google Plus page and put it up there as well. So if you want to download that information, you'll be able to just click the link and do that. So Nick, once people watch your video about 30 ideas for a channel and they figure out what they want to make their YouTube channel about, what else can you tell them about getting started with videos? How do they know what kinds of videos to make? Should it be all business, mix personal and business together? What can you share with us about that?
It depends, I think. You know, like if the goal, which I guess is what you got to figure out first, if your goal is to get people on an email list, for example, so that you can, you know, keep them aware of your products, then you would need to craft your videos in a way that would entice people to want to go and get on your email list. If you are making videos to just inform people about what you're doing, then in that case, then you would work, you know, a little bit harder on your branding and stuff like that, because you're not going to have that direct contact with them, you know, outside of your videos. You know what I mean? And when it comes to actually making the videos, you know, as far as mixing business with personal, if we're talking about, you know, strictly business videos, like if you have like a consultancy place or, something like that. Yeah, I mean, you could mix business with personal also, but I would still keep it as professional as you can. Like, any type of business video, I wouldn't use, bad language or anything like that, because that the personal life that you share is also going to be representative of your business as well.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like, if you are mixing the two, you have to be a little more mindful of how much of your personal life or what aspects of your personal life that you're letting into public view for your business.
Definitely. Yeah. Only show the good stuff, right?
Well, that and the stuff that, it's family friendly stuff that isn't going to offend somebody. Like, if you have a business where you sell, we'll just say widgets, right? If you have a business where you're selling widgets, you don't want to go on there and talk about, Donald Trump or, Confederate flag problems or, anything like that, because then you're focusing people on that person or that problem or that side of you, instead of focusing on what your business can do for them or what your product can do for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. And you want to, even like you mentioned, the politics side of it, I know that's something I'm always really careful about. There's a part of me that would love to be more active in that. And I think I'm going to alienate some of the people who might be future customers of mine.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. So even though I might share their sentiment, I don't always share those things on Facebook or other channels.
Right. And that's, like, that kind of stuff is reserved for, for personal connections, people that you have in your inner circle, so to speak.
Right.
With them, you can talk about anything. It's just when it comes to stuff that represents your business, and like you said, they could be future customers. You don't want to cut yourself off by, talking about that sort of thing. And of course, you have the people that are going to say, oh, well, this is who I am. And, if they don't like, that I have this particular point of view, then they shouldn't be doing business with me in the first place, which is, that's a valid point. But when you're saying that, you're also potentially cutting yourself off from potential customers, when all you have to do is keep politics, religion out of it, and try to keep your stuff family friendly,
right?
Yeah,
definitely. So I wanted to ask you about your trip to China, which I know you just came back from. Do you have any highlights that you want to share about that?
Yeah, actually. First, the Great Wall of China is awesome. That was on my bucket list of one of the things that I wanted to see. So check that off, right? But yeah, I went with my brother, and we had a fantastic time. We first went to Shenzhen, China. Then we went to Beijing, which is where the Great Wall is. And then we went to Shanghai. And all three places were cool. The smog was a little much in Beijing, but, we went to... it wasn't as bad as... like, it wasn't their worst right now. Like, we had one day where it was actually clear and you could see blue skies. But most of the rest of the time, because we were there, I think, for 5 days, most of the rest of the time was, a really strong haze. But, that aside, the Great Wall was just awesome. My brother's really into fitness, and we took cameras with us, and we were taking pictures of him on the Great Wall doing, like aerial, where he'll basically go down to a push-up stance and he'll jump up and spread his whole body out, kind of like Superman, right? And then he'll come back down and land it. And we were taking pictures of that, and there's a Chinese guy, another athletic guy, you can tell by what he was wearing, that came to where we were, and we had pretty much the whole section of the wall to ourselves. And this guy and his girlfriend joined us, and even though we couldn't communicate with them, they were still able to communicate what they were trying to get with the pictures. And my brother and this guy ended up taking all these pictures together of them doing all this crazy stuff on the wall. Yeah, so like for example, my brother would be, in like a fighting stance or whatever, and then the guy would jump back like he just got hit. So the guy's, up in the air like he just got hit, and hard to explain, easier to show pictures, but it was really cool. Like for me, that part, just that day made the whole trip incredible.
Huh. So can we expect to see some of that footage in future videos, do you think?
Yeah, well, the Great Wall footage is going to be there, but him doing that stuff, I might sneak a picture somewhere.
Yeah.
Brother, if you're watching this, sorry.
Yeah, your brother you can get a release from, I'm sure. The guy who didn't speak English might be a little harder.
Yeah.
Huh. And any other highlights from China?
That was like the big one for me. Just seeing stuff in China. This was my second time in China. The last time I went, it was for like 4 days, I believe, and it was just in Shanghai. So this time we were running around a little bit, and it's just cool, just running around somewhere different, just trying to get. I actually made a bunch of videos while I was there. Almost every day that I went out, I took a GoPro with me on a selfie stick, and I had myself mic'd up, and I just kind of, documented a lot of the trip. But it's even simple things like trying to get a cab ride from one place to another place, or like a motorbike taxi from one place to another. In a country where you don't understand the language, they don't understand yours, most of them.
That makes it hard.
What not hard really, it just makes it an adventure. It's like you wake up, and when you go out into their city, you don't know what to expect. It's just even a cab ride or just trying to order food or whatever becomes, something fun and entertaining, to whereas in your normal life, you can get around pretty easy. So everything's, it's just not as, there's not as much new input coming in, if that makes any sense at all.
Yep, it does, definitely. Having gone through that experience years ago in Europe, I know what you're talking about.
Oh, nice. Where did you go in Europe?
I actually ended up living in Italy for a while, but getting to Italy was where the adventure was, when I didn't speak the language yet.
Nice.
And I'll just tell the short version of this because we're about running out of time. We were on a train coming from Frankfurt, I think, and heading south. It was supposed to go through Milan and then down to Florence is where we were going. And after we sat outside of Milan for about 10 hours with no explanation of what was going on, then we finally started moving and turned, and we're not going where, it didn't look on the map like we were going the right direction. I finally got out my Italian dictionary and figured out how to ask, how to say, this is where we're going, are we going to get there? And they said, no, you'll have to get off in Pisa and change trains. So we managed to do that. Turned out the next day we found out, I don't know if you remember the Red Brigade from back in the 70s, they had blown up a train tunnel in Milan that day.
Wow.
And that's why we were stuck there for so long. So it was kind of afterwards, it was like, oh my God, things could have been much worse, but it was one of those interesting moments where I had to learn really fast how to get the information that I needed, and make sure that we didn't continue on down to Calabria or something instead of getting off at Pisa. So anyway,
nice. Yeah, it's that stuff that makes traveling interesting.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we're about out of time, Nick. So anything you want to say to wrap up here? Any tips you can give our audience for getting started with video or improving their videos?
Do something that you like. If you're doing your business videos, try to make business videos that you enjoy. If you're making a channel for the sake of entertainment, entertain in a way that you enjoy. Talk about things that you enjoy. It makes it all fun and worthwhile. It makes it like you're not even working really.
Yeah.
Like all the videos that I make, I do in my spare time when I'm not doing my graphic design. And if I didn't enjoy it, then there's no way that I would be able to keep up with, with all the video stuff that I'm doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
So make sure that you make stuff that you enjoy, and learn how to make it as good as you can, at that point in time that you're making it.
Yeah.
And also make sure to check out my new channel, youtube.com/allourquestions, because it's awesome. I put a lot of hard work into it, and I think that people are really going to enjoy it because I'm having a blast making it. So so I hope people enjoy it
will
anyway.
Come through, definitely.
Yeah,
well,
I hope so.
I'm looking forward to that. allaourquestions.com on YouTube, or not allaourquestions.com. YouTube.com/allaourquestions,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, you can go to allaourquestions.com. That'll get you there too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, either one.
And then one more time, Nick, tell people where they can go to get some of your free graphic designs and other tidbits.
It's nicknimmin.com/VIP.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Nick. It's been great talking to you. And
thank you, Susan.
hopefully
It's great.
People have enjoyed
great
this.
being able to talk with you.
Great. And I see we've had some viewers. We'll check for questions. I didn't think to do that, but maybe, Nick, if you want to take a look, if there are questions that people have for you, you can answer them on the YouTube page.
Okay.
We're going to sign off for now, and thanks.
Thank you for having me.